Hi everyone, welcome back to my online poker diary. I've just played. I think I'm reaching 2,000, whatever it is, hands. Well, basically, I've played another 1,000 hands since the last one, and let me tell you, some of these spots get quite sweaty. As you can see, I filtered my results to the next 1,000 hands. We were break even for the first 300, but then we just kind of hit something, We we started a roll and we managed to peak up here. If I just clear all the results for all dates, we're at almost $16 profit at the moment. So the first session we ended around here, didn't we, with 1,266 hands, and from there we managed to pick up some momentum. Overall, we're winning 34 big blinds per 100, and today we won 57 big blinds per 100. So, it's all looking good, all looking good. I've already preloaded the biggest four pots that we entered in today. I think I'll just go through them straight away. I'm kind of liking the four biggest pots because you get to see like what I do flop, turn, and river all in one go. So it's probably the most efficient way for me to analyze my strategy. Okay, let's just get into it. The biggest pot. We had aces. I remember this guy. This guy is kind of really aggressive. You can tell by his stats he's like extremely lag, but also post flop. He's just like he's betting a lot, and the sizes he was using were like close to pot almost all the time. He just bets quite a lot, especially turn. This is extremely, extremely lag. Also his calls. Notice his calls. He doesn't really fold that much, so he's just basically a whale. He managed to run up a big stack, and that led to us being in this massive pot. So he opened under the gun. We 3-bet with aces, of course. We 3-bet a pretty tight range from the big blind versus a normal under the gun player, but because his pre-flop raise is actually a lot looser than an under the gun player should be, we're probably going to 3-bet a little bit looser. Obviously, aces is going to be in there. He makes the call. We flop top set. Because our 3-bet range should be much stronger than his range, we should continue with our entire range with a third pot, in my opinion. So we do. We get raised absolutely huge, which is perfect. I imagine that this is going to be like some flush draws, some 8-6 suited, some 9-8 suited, maybe. Some 7s and some 5s as well, and maybe the ace-7, the last combo of ace-7. He's going to have a lot of strong hands here and some draws. So the decision is whether to jam or whether to call, and from a strategic standpoint, I believe it's never really correct to re-raise over a size this large, because you just want to call and let him be really aggressive, especially this person in particular. He's extremely, extremely aggressive, so I don't mind calling, and then check calling turn, and then check calling river. So we make the call, the turn to the deuce. We check over to him, of course, as planned, and he basically just puts it in. He bets 100. He bets 100 big blinds, and we just have to put in $1 more, 50 big blinds more. So there's no point in calling. We're just going to get it in. So we do, and he makes the call. He turns over 10-3 suited, 10-3 of hearts. So, he peeled our 3-bet extremely light and managed to catch a flush draw and then just go with it, I suppose. And we were lucky enough to hold that one. He had he had 23% equity on the turn because he's also got that gut shot. So we were sweating for a $9 pot, a 450 big blind pot. That was quite sweaty. Okay, on to the next one. The next hand, we were dealt pocket 5s. It's the same guy, the Valo 4-4 guy. He's here, but I don't think he's our main villain. We get a limp from someone who seems to be a bad regular. Like, he's got reggy stats, maybe a bit on the nitty side, over 15 hands, so it's not too much to read in, but, he's not like an uber fish. We raise over the limp. I don't want to do a lot of over limping because of rake. We get a call by a pretty loose guy, a call, and another call. So we go 4-way to the flop bottom set, and we get led into. Now, this lead typically represents strength. It's going to be like Jack X, flush draws, 10-9 suited, that kind of stuff. So we have an interesting decision. Like, we could call and let Henrique behind make a questionable call with some pairs and some draws himself, or we can raise now. And I think uh, in real time, I couldn't decide which one was better. But because we were multi-way and this should be strength, I think with a lot of our continuing range, we should just be calling because we don't want to raise into a strong range. It just doesn't make sense. So overall, I think I prefer calling, but I'd have to actually look into it more to see if raising would be better. But in reality, we called, and Henrik does in fact make the call. We'll go three-way to the turn, the deuce, and this time it checks around. So kind of confusing. I'm not sure what kind of hand Toha has here. Maybe a draw that gives up, maybe a jack X that wants to control the pot size of the pot. But once it checks to us, we are very happy to just bet. We bet, get the fold, and Toha just sticks it in, so we're obviously very happy to call it off. And funnily enough, he turns over pocket queens, which, I mean, because he didn't 3-bet free, the hand was played badly, in my opinion, but post-flop, I guess it was okay. Who knows what they're doing, right? But anyway, that was a nice, almost 300 big blind pot to scoop our way. Okay, next hand. We had 10-9 suited. Four-handed. Button opens, we make a fairly standard 3-bet. 4.5x is a fine size. And we get called. We flop the nuts, which is extremely good, of course. As with the aces hand before, I think we have a massive range advantage, so we just continue with a third pot. We continue with the third pot, and then we get raised. So, again, same kind of logic with the first hand. I don't think there are any hands that we really want to 3-bet over his raise, because he's representing a lot of strength. So we should just be calling with all of our hand, including the nuts. This is a pretty strong version of the nuts, because we have the backdoor flush draw as well. So there's that, but yeah, I think just calling is fine. We call. Brick 4, I don't really see any merit to donk jamming here, or any other donk size. I think we just check and let him bet. We check, he bets like a half pot, which, I mean, yeah, I've got 135 behind, he bet 86, so there's nothing else to do but to jam. And he calls it off, and he had Jack 9 offsuit, so, you know, reggy stats, but bit of a punty play there. He, I mean, he should have folded to the 3-bet pre, I think. He should definitely not be raising the flop. And I don't really know what he's doing, but, you know, it's whatever, that's why we play the game. The last hand, this one. What happened here? We got pocket kings. We raise. We get min 3-bet. So I just put in the 4-bet. I think 4-bet into 3x over a min 3-bet is fine. I don't really think you have to consider balance when someone min 3-bets you. You know, you just 4-bet all your strong hands. We get min 5-bet, which is interesting because my brain immediately started thinking about aces, but you know, only one hand. So he probably just joined the table and was like, "I'm here to play." So you know, just stick it in. And we get called by ace queen offsuit, and unfortunately he hits that ace and we are unable to improve, so we unfortunately lose that one. Yeah, overall I think I played all those hands pretty well. I mean, it looks good to flop the nuts almost every time, but that's why those pots get so big. There are obviously lots of little pots that I win along the way, as you can see. Lots of ones that I lose as well, but you know, overall, just playing solid poker, getting up to, as I said before, getting up to almost $16 in profit with a win rate of 34 big blinds per 100 over 2,300 hands is pretty. I mean, that's pretty insane. A 35 big blind win rate should not be sustainable, in my opinion. So I'm probably running extremely hard. One pretty interesting thing to notice is that whenever I play full ring, I am not making any money, technically, but whenever I play 6 max, I'm making shitloads of money. That's just going to be down to variance probably, because I'm playing both these tables pretty much the same, and yeah, it's just whichever table has the most fish on it. Anyway, on to the next 1,000 hands, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.